Hey guys, what's up? I'm Connor, aka the Music Fanatic here, coming to you guys with another review of an album, obviously. And today I'm going to be reviewing something. Now, originally I had no idea what I wanted to make for this review this week. I guess I do weekly reviews, or I'll break that because I don't really think I should have a schedule. But I was thinking to myself, what album should I review? And I was going through my CD collection, and one of them just caught my eye. So, as you can tell from the title below, I'm going to be reviewing one of my favorite albums by my second favorite metal band of all time, and that is Iron Maiden with the album Number of the Beast. Now, this is a lot of people's favorite album by Iron Maiden, and personally, it's not my favorite album by Iron Maiden, but it is the most memorable album by Iron Maiden. If you're wondering, my favorite album by Iron Maiden is Power Slave. Ever since I heard Power Slave, it has been my favorite album by Iron Maiden. I've listened to it millions upon millions of times, and I never get sick of it, and I think that is one of the best metal albums of all time. If not, it's not the best metal album of all time, but it's definitely up there with one of the best. And yeah, I even own it on vinyl, but when it comes to Iron Maiden albums, no album is really more memorable by Iron Maiden than The Number of the Beast. So let's get into it. The Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden is the third studio album released by Iron Maiden, and it was released on March 22nd of 1982, making this album old. I can't do math. I'm not good at mental math, sorry. But this is actually the remastered version. So actually, originally this album only had 9 tracks. It went from Invaders to Hallowed Be Thy Name. It was only 8 tracks. But when they were releasing the remastered versions, I guess they thought they should add a track to it. So the song Total Eclipse was actually not originally on this album. And even if you buy the remastered vinyl, the song Total Eclipse is actually not on the album. But anyways, this is actually the first album to feature longtime and still to this day vocalist Bruce Dickinson, who in my opinion is one of the best vocalists of all time. Not just in heavy metal music, just ever. He's just, the way that his voice sounds, it's so operatic and it has such an epic feel to it. It makes every single song by Iron Maiden feel that much more epic. Like, if you were to listen to the original lead singer of Iron Maiden, his name is beyond me right now. Or if you even listen to Blaze Bayley, if you try to listen to him do the song 2 Minutes to Midnight, or the song Number of the Beast, or even Children of the Damned, The Prisoner, Invaders, any song off this album, he would not have just that extra kick to it that Bruce Dickinson would have. And just, also every member of the band, Iron Maiden, is just incredible. I know they're lineup changes all the time, so you know the drummer for this album is probably not the same drummer for Iron Maiden right now, but there is one member of Iron Maiden that stands throughout all the years, and that is the bassist Steve Harris. Steve Harris is probably, in my opinion, other than Geddy Lee, the best bass player of all time. Like, whenever you listen to an Iron Maiden album, sure, the guitar is in there, and the drums are in there, and the singing is in there, and all those parts are awesome, but even the bass is very prominent. The bass in some songs by Iron Maiden is even more prominent than the vocals or the guitar or the drums. So if you didn't have one key instrument in Iron Maiden, or one key member in Iron Maiden, you wouldn't really have Iron Maiden. Like, if you didn't have Steve Harris, you wouldn't have Iron Maiden. If you don't have Bruce Dickinson, you don't have Iron Maiden. I can't say anything about the other members because their lineup has changed throughout the years so much, but the drummer for this album was Clive Burr, and he does a fucking incredible job on this album. Every single song that he drums on, for the most part, actually all of them are fucking fantastic. And I think the best track that he drummed for on this album was probably "Run to the Hills," because it's just awesome. And this album actually features one of my favorite Iron Maiden songs of all time, "The Prisoner." And yeah, sure, "The Number of the Beast" and "Run to the Hills" are on here, but I think that "The Prisoner" is probably the best song off this entire album. I absolutely fucking love that song. But yeah, other members, Adrian Smith was on guitar for this album, and Dave Murray was also on guitar, and they were a duo that was pretty fucking awesome for this album. But yeah, enough about the members of the band, and enough about how awesome this album is. Let's go through this amazing classic album, track by track. So the first song that kicks off this album in such a fantastic way, it's one of, in my opinion, the best starter tracks of any album when it comes to rock, metal, or anything in that genre. The song is called Invaders. Just the way this song starts, just kicks off the album in such an incredible way. It starts with the 2 guitarists, I forgot what their names were, hold on. Adrian Smith, I know that's one of them. Adrian Smith and Dave Murray when they come in, and Clive Burr on the drums when they come in, and they're just the the and then Steve Harris has that bass line that is very memorable. It's just a great way to start off the song, and when the song kicks in, it has that classic Iron Maiden sound, which is a very quick, fast-paced metal song, but it's very memorable, and then it's very memorable and very. I think this is honestly one of the best songs Iron Maiden has ever put out, and very underrated song, or maybe it's not. Maybe it is Maybe it is rated as one of their best songs, but I don't know. I think it's one of their best songs. And the song in question is very clearly, when Bruce Dickinson comes in, is clearly about it's about Vikings coming into another land that they're not originally from, obviously, coming in and pillaging and fighting them and all that stuff. And pretty much the land that they're going to is pretty much from the point of view of the people that are there, that are seeing the Vikings come in, and is saying, oh no, we must fight, we must cause war, the Nordic warriors are coming in with their swords and their shields and stuff, we have to fight, and this is pretty much Judgment Day for them and everything. But yeah, I think this song is fantastic, a great way to start off the album, and yeah, one of my favorite songs off the entire album, one of my favorite Iron Maiden songs ever. So the next song on the album is called Children of the Damned. Now this song, Children of the Damned, is actually one of those classic examples of an Iron Maiden song that actually has an original source behind the meaning of the song. It's a slower paced song, but still is a really fucking awesome song. It's one of those songs that you would bring out a light or two and go like this during the song. Because it starts off, and I originally thought it was acoustic guitar, but it's actually electric guitar that's made to sound like it's acoustic and everything. The bass in the background, not really sure what he's playing back there, but it's also very quick playing on the ride cymbal, and then the lyrics come in, and it's pretty much, this song is actually based off two science fiction movies from the 1960s called Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned, which those two movies are actually about children who have telepathic abilities that are being chased by the government to take them down because they feel that they're a threat, but in actuality, the children just want to live unharmed lives and just want to live and be unharmed and everything. So yeah, also I think one of the best riffs that Iron Maiden has ever made, and one of the most memorable ones in my mind that I can remember off the top of my head, is during the chorus of the song. And pretty much the chorus of the song is just Bruce Dickinson saying Children of the Damned over and over again, but it doesn't take away from that. Usually people want their choruses to have like a lot of lines and everything and be like memorable, but this one is just the title of the song over and over again, and before that it's just guitar playing, but then when that comes in, the riff, and it's like I butchered that terribly, but yeah, another great song off this album. It's 4 minutes and 33 seconds, so it's just a little bit longer than the title track, but then we get to the next song, which is my favorite song off this entire album, and it's called The Prisoner. Now, much like the song Children of the Damned, this song also has another source material to it, and the source material to this is that it's actually from a British TV show, which is actually from the same name, called The Prisoner, and in the show, it's pretty much about a village that is government controlled and everything, and it's pretty much every single person inside the village is a prisoner, per se, and all of them have numbers, and the main character in the entire story is called Number 6, and you can tell that from the beginning because it's them pretty much always trying to get information from him. Like in the beginning, it's like, we want information, who are you? The new number, and it's like, you are Number 6, and then it says, I'm not a number, I am a free man. And then the song starts after like laughter and stuff, and as I said, this is probably one of my favorite songs by Iron Maiden, and my favorite song off this entire album. And pretty much the entire song is pretty much talking about the prisoner, per se, Number 6 as he's called. And it's pretty much saying all he wants to do is get free, and they pretty much they want information from him all the time. And pretty much it's like as the show goes, in the show, when he's in the village and all that stuff, Number 6 as he's called. I don't know if they actually ever reveal his real name. If you're a fan of the show, please say. But yeah, pretty much the entire show is he is always trying to escape, and they're always trying to get information from him. And the song is pretty much about that. And instrumentation, the song is wonderful, and I think it's one of the best songs by Iron Maiden and the best song off this entire album. And the chorus of this song, Prisoner, is probably one of the catchiest choruses that Iron Maiden has ever had in their entire discography. It's like, I'm not a prisoner, I'm a free man, and totally forgot what the lyrics were. Wow, it's my favorite song by them. But yeah, song Prisoner. I think the song is awesome. Next song on the album is called 22 Acacia Avenue. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this song is actually the second installment in the Charlotte the Harlot saga, as they call it in Iron Maiden. And it's actually a storyline about a hooker that is actually at 22 Acacia Avenue, and it pretty much, the entire storyline is talking about her, like, how she works there, her life and all that stuff. And it's also about a man that's in love with her that wants to get her away from there because he thinks that that's not good for her and all that stuff. The first installment is actually called Charlotte the Harlot. The second one is this song, 22 Acacia Avenue. Third one is called Hooks in You, and then it's From Here to Eternity. And this song is actually, the first part of the song is talking about the place, 22 Acacia Avenue, and it's talking about if you're feeling down and unlucky and all that stuff, go to a place called 22 Acacia Avenue, and there you can find like a good time and all that stuff, and like Charlotte works there and everything. And then later on in the song, it's from the perspective of the guy who is infatuated with her, and it's pretty much talking about, you shouldn't be here, you shouldn't be doing this is not good for you, and this is saddening me and all that stuff. I don't really think I need to explain the instrumentation behind an Iron Maiden song because everyone knows that it's phenomenal. And actually, this is the whole Charlotte the Harlot storyline was actually created by guitarist Dave Murray because he thought the whole idea of Charlotte the Harlot was a great idea and all that stuff, and people say he was infatuated with the idea of her and everything. So pretty much the entire idea behind the Charlotte the Harlot storyline was created by guitarist Dave Murray, and this is the second installment in it called 22 Acacia Avenue. And it's quite a good song. It's a good listen. You should listen to the song. And yeah, so next song on the album is probably the most well-known song in the entire Iron Maiden discography, the title track, The Number of the Beast. Now, people have actually said this song has two meanings to it. The first meaning to it is that it's about the third Omen movie, Omen 3, forgot what it's called, but it's pretty much about that and everything. If you don't know, The Omen is a story about a child who is born and turns out to be the son of the devil. He has the marking of the devil on the back of his head, which is 666, which is the number of the beast. And actually, this song starts off with a Bible verse. Originally, they were going to have Vincent Price sing it, and not sing it, speak it in the song, because recently in the album Thriller by Michael Jackson, he actually I think he was busy with that. I think that's the reason for it, because in the song Thriller by Michael Jackson, off the album Thriller by Michael Jackson, he actually was did the spoken word part for that song. But in this song, it's actually a British actor by the name of Barry Clayton, whoever he is. But yeah, also I figured out the reason why Vincent Price didn't do the spoken word part in this is because he was actually asking more money than they were willing to pay him. So yeah, but this song was also inspired by bassist of the band, Steve Harris, had a nightmare after actually watching the movie Damien, which is Omen Part 3. And this actually is probably the most controversial song that Iron Maiden ever put out, mostly because it was the year 1982, and people were still not used to the fact that some bands were writing about Satanism and all that stuff. Well, not Satanism, just like Satan and stuff. So people heard Iron Maiden, and they heard a song called Number of the Beast, and they heard that it had the 666, the number of the beast, and all that stuff in it. So people immediately thought, oh, Iron Maiden are Satanists, and they worship Satan, and oh, they're devil worshippers, and their only plan is for all the kids to worship the devil and all that stuff, which is completely not true. If you read up the lyrics of this song, it's actually about a guy who's having a nightmare. That's pretty much what the entire song is about. It's pretty much like, also the way that the song starts off, it's just like, just the lyrics in the song are pretty much just talking about a guy who has a nightmare about like the devil and all that stuff. But the song starts off with one of the most memorable guitar riffs in the history of music ever. You know, the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And it starts off with Bruce Dickinson, and then it has that after that happens, there's that primal scream by Bruce Dickinson that, even him to this day, he can't do it ever again. He made it good for this album, and he could do it well, but he could not, by the life of him, ever do it ever again. And yeah, I think this is one of the most perfect songs ever made by a band, and just in general, it is a amazing metal song. It's one of the fastest songs, well, one of the quickest kind of songs that Iron Maiden ever put out. It's the title track of the album, Number of the Beast. Great song. Go listen to it. Next song on the album is called Run to the Hills. Also, the first song, for the first time that I ever heard Number of the Beast, which is actually probably one of the first Iron Maiden albums that I ever heard, was because of the game Guitar Hero 3. Next song, Run to the Hills, I heard because of the game Rock Band. It's a cover version now on that game, and covers are always bad on those games. But anyways, the song Run to the Hills. So as everyone knows, this song starts off with one of the most memorable things in the entire Iron Maiden discography, which is the hi-hat plus tom thing in the beginning, like the that part. And then the guitar riff comes in, and then the guitars come in, you know, the and it's after that part, Bruce Dickinson comes in and starts singing, and this song actually has two perspectives to it. The first perspective is talking about, the song is pretty much about when Europeans first came over to America, and it was pretty much like the pillaging and rape, and not really raping, probably the pillaging and like the killing off of like the Native Americans and stuff. So the two points of view on this song. The first point of view is from the Native Americans that say, you know, white man came across the sea, they took our, they brought us pain and misery. It's pretty much talking about they had all their stuff over here and they were all good and everything, and then the Europeans came over and started killing them off and started doing terrible, awful things to them. The second point of view is actually from the Europeans, which is pretty much talking about like chasing the Redskins back from their homes and everything, like taking all their land and everything, and then they felt good and all that stuff because, hey, we have our own time, our own place now and everything. And after that, after the beginning part, when they start singing that, it's actually one of the fastest songs off the entire album, probably the fastest song off the album. Then the chorus is, you know, run to the hills, run for your life and everything, and these two songs that follow in a row are actually the most probably the most memorable songs that Iron Maiden has ever put out to. Are they the best songs by Iron Maiden? In my opinion, not really. Are one of the best songs off this album? Yeah, by a long shot. But yeah, are they the best songs? No. Are they one of? Yes, they're two amazing songs. I think they're the two perfect combos in a row of two songs by a band, Number of the Beast and Run to the Hills, both on Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. Two songs in a row that are phenomenal. Then the next song on the album, track 7, is called Gangland. So this is probably one of the only songs off the entire album that I would say is probably not one of my favorite songs. I don't think there's a single song off this album that I would like. In the description, I usually put favorite songs, or fave songs, I guess, or least favorite songs. I'm not going to do that for this album because every single song off this entire album is phenomenal and great. But there is two songs off this album, the next two songs, Gangland and Total Eclipse. These are the two songs that are just like some of the most non-memorable. For instance, I completely forgot that the song Total Eclipse was on the remastered version of this album until before I reviewed it. The song Gangland is another great song off the album. Not one of the best, but another great song off the album, and it's actually about the uncertainty and the fear that people had back in the 1930s when, like, Al Capone and all that stuff was happening, like the gangsters and all that stuff. It's pretty much talking about, like, gangsters and all that stuff, or it's talking about prison, because they also say, like, where, you know, the gang men go to die and all that stuff, and it's talking about, like, gang warfare and everything back in, like, the 1930s with, like, Al Capone and all those actual gangsters and all that stuff. And it could also be talking about prison because they're talking about, you know, behind, I think at one part of the song they say behind bars. I may be wrong about that, but yeah, I think it's another great song off the album, just not one of my favorites. Then the next song on the album, Total Eclipse, if you listen to the lyrics of this song, I think the song is talking about the apocalypse, because in lines where they talk about, like, the Garden of Eden, like the children, like the fear and, like, the children and all that stuff, and, like, a total eclipse and everything. The reason why a total eclipse would have to do with the apocalypse is because a very, 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 very long time ago, nobody had any idea what a total eclipse was, like a solar eclipse and everything. So when a solar eclipse happened on the occasion that it did, everyone was freaking the fuck out, and everyone was like, oh my god, the end of the world and everything. So that's pretty much what the song is talking about. It's talking about back in the times when a total solar eclipse would happen and everyone thought the end of the world was happening. And it's pretty much talking about if that was the case. It's a song about the apocalypse. So yeah, then the album that finishes off this album is the song that finishes off this album is called "Hallowed Be Thy Name," and in most people's opinions, this is the best song that Iron Maiden has ever put out. Do I agree? Not exactly, but it still is a phenomenal song. I think it's one of the best songs that they've ever made. Just not the best. I don't really think Iron Maiden has a best song. I think they have tracks that are fucking amazing and some of the best songs ever made. Just none of them are really the best song that they made because all of them are fucking great. So yeah, this song, "Hallowed Be Thy Name," it's another slower type sounding song, and the way that it starts off is very slow and everything. And the song itself is actually talking about a soldier in war that is actually being put on the death penalty and everything, and he's going to be put to death and everything. Like in the part of the song where it says, "When the priest comes to tell me my last rites" and everything. Also, "Hallowed Be Thy Name" is actually a line from the Lord's Prayer in Christianity. It's pretty much the Our Father, Our Father who art in heaven, blah blah blah. And it says, and then "Hallowed be Thy name." That's where it comes from, and it's pretty much a soldier or a prisoner of war, who is going to be put to death, and it's pretty much from his point of view of his last few days of living. And yeah, if you haven't heard this song, it's the longest song off the entire album, clocking in at 7 minutes and 10 seconds, but it is a great song. You should totally listen to it, whether you're a metal fan or you're not a metal fan. Also, no matter who you are, you should listen to this album because it is awesome. But yeah, that's the song "Hallowed Be Thy Name." Those are the tracks off the album. There are 9 tracks off this album. I'm going to say 8 because I don't really consider Total Eclipse an actual song off this album. So, my top half favorite songs off this album, and by that I mean the top half, the four songs that I like the most off this album would be "Invaders," "Prisoner," "The Prisoner," "Number of the Beast," and "Run to the Hills." I know those are like the 4 most popular songs off this album, but still. And if I had to add a 5th song on that, it'd probably be "Hallowed Be Thy Name." I know, again, one of the most popular songs off this album, but I digress. So anyways, other things about this album. In my own opinion, Iron Maiden is my second favorite metal band of all time. As you guys know, my favorite metal band of all time is the band Metallica. They're also my 10th favorite band of all time. Yeah, but Iron Maiden, in my opinion, just encapsulates everything that is great about heavy metal music, like the other side of heavy metal music, not like the thrash metal side, like the heavy metal side of it. They're almost power metal in some way. If you listen to some of their songs, also off of the album Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, they're kind of progressive in a way. They just have that way of like making a speedy, fast album that is also very memorable and very catchy and very commercially successful, that can just be amazing and all that stuff. And this is one of the best albums ever made, in my opinion. This is a perfect 10 out of 10. One of the best albums ever. One of the best metal albums, probably on my top 3 favorite metal albums of all time. My favorite metal album of all time is Master of Puppets by Metallica. My second favorite metal album of all time is probably Paranoid by Black Sabbath. And then Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden is my third favorite metal. Well, actually, this would be my third favorite metal album of all time, because this album is amazing and everything, and it perfectly encapsulates what they were trying to do at the time of Iron Maiden, like the songwriting ability that they had, the instrumentation, all that stuff, putting in Bruce Dickinson as their vocalist, pretty much encapsulating that Bruce Dickinson is the vocalist of Iron Maiden. They perfected everything in that, but then they fully perfected it in the album Power Slave, which is, as I said, my third favorite metal album of all time. But I think this would be my 4th favorite metal album of all time, because these are 2 albums that are just perfect, in my opinion, when it comes to heavy metal. But yeah, so Iron Maiden's The Number of the Beast. I absolutely love this album. I give it a perfect 10 out of 10. Also, the front cover of this album was inspired by the song, a song, obviously. It's their, if you don't know, it's their mascot. His name is Eddie. There's really no story behind Eddie. He's kind of just Eddie. He was on their first album, which is called Iron Maiden. He was on their second album, Killers, and they just thought, hey, let's use this guy. He's awesome. But yeah, it's Eddie, and he's pretty much it's like they're in hell, pretty much, I guess, and the devil is right there, and it's pretty much Eddie controlling the devil, which is, I guess it was a controversial album cover for a while, which I didn't really understand, because like everyone didn't like the devil, so seeing another person controlling the devil, wouldn't that be a good thing? And also it has the single cover, front cover right there, which is Eddie holding the head of the decapitated devil on there, in his hand. Then right there, members of the band performing live. Open it up. It has notes and everything, and it also has that, which is the Revelations Exodus Bible verse, which it comes from in the beginning of the song Remember the Beast. Then it has the lyrics of all the songs, the pictures of the members of the band. Then the very last page on here, first off, that's fucking cool. Very last page on here is right there. It has the thanks for the members of the band, has that right there, and has names of the guys from the band, so that's cool. Yeah. So, that was Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden, one of the most perfect metal albums ever made. Ever. I think the album is fucking fantastic. I need to buy it on vinyl, I know that for sure. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. The next review I'm going to be making is probably going to be over. Let me grab the album real quick. A self-titled album by the two-piece hard rock and blues rock duo from the United Kingdom, Royal Blood. Probably going to review this next. But yeah, that's pretty much it. 3, 2, 1, I'm done. Subscribe.